bringing you the news and information you need from the people making a difference. This is Comcast News Makers.
Hi everyone, welcome to Comcast News Makers. I'm Alexis Cairo. Our guest today is Michelle Flynn, who is the Associate Executive Director of Programs at the Road Home here in Utah. Welcome. It's nice to have you here.
Thank you.
So much we can talk about with the Road Home, but today we want to talk specifically about winter homelessness. I mean, the statistics you gave me right before we came on are really sort of breathtaking. Michelle, you've had a 60% increase in the homeless population this year compared to last year.
We've served 60% more individuals coming through our shelters in the same time period this year than last year. We're able to do that by shortening that length of stay, helping folks get out into housing as quickly as possible, and using the beds really as a short-term emergency shelter.
And do you see, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but do you see in the wintertime, you must see an increase in the population?
We do. We open additional shelter in the wintertime so that we make sure that we have a bed every night for every individual and every family that needs shelter. So we have an additional facility that we opened in Midvale a few weeks ago, and we have about 60 families on any given night staying in that shelter, in addition to our year-round shelter that we have up in Salt Lake City.
Because it's, I mean, obviously it's very dangerous for people to be outside in the winter and homeless. It's you know, it's dangerous.
And our community has been incredibly supportive in coming together and saying we're all going to work together and make sure that we have a place for people to stay. No one needs to be outside in the weather that we have in the middle of the night in the wintertime.
Right, and it's gotten cold earlier this year.
It has.
Right.
Yes.
We were talking earlier then about the housing. I mean, you said the solution to homelessness is really providing housing.
Yes.
Tell us what the Road Home has done over the last year or so, or 2 years, to solve that problem.
Absolutely. We recognize the need for our emergency programs and the importance of having that place for people to stay when they need a place that night, but we know we don't want folks to stay there for a long period of time. So we've really focused on developing housing options. We've created permanent supportive housing. That's housing with supportive services. It's long-term permanent housing for chronically homeless individuals. People have been homeless for 10 or 15 years with some kind of a disability that really need some kind of support.
And what kind of support are we talking about?
We have case managers on site at the facilities, or if they're in scattered site apartments, we have case managers that go to their homes and visit them a couple of times a week, get them connected with support services such as food, clothing, income of whatever kind, making sure they're paying their rent, working well with their landlord, and can stay housed. And then partnering with our homeless service providers in the areas of substance abuse and mental health and medical care, and making sure that those resources are accessible for these particular individuals. And then we also have our rapid rehousing program.
Right, yeah. Tell me more about that.
Rapid rehousing is really focused on the families.
Right.
We've seen a big increase for the last few years in the number of families, 11% increase already this year over last year, just in the number of families coming to us. And we knew we didn't want to build another shelter or have to open another shelter for families. So we partnered with state, city, county, and our other housing authority partners, and created our rapid rehousing program. Since October of 2009, we've housed close to 750 families.
Amazing.
We move them out, provide them a little bit of rental assistance, some case management for just a few months, just to get them on their feet, so that they can pay the rent, and then we back off and they stay in their apartments. And we have a 90% success rate in that program.
That is an amazing statistic. So 90% of the people that you've transitioned to this housing have not only stayed, but they've taken it over and they're making the payments and doing all that.
And those numbers are really significant because with a little bit of support, we can help most of the people that come to us with just a little bit of support. It's really only about 10% of our population that needs that longer term permanent supportive housing with ongoing supportive services in all those areas.
Right. So the increase in families also is a message that while the economy seems to be showing a little bit of improvement, there are still people that are being affected.
Well, the very lowest tier income families are the ones that are hurt the hardest and take the longest to recover.
Right. Well, that's great, and like I said, we appreciate all that you do. A great program, and appreciate you being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Our guest today has been Michelle Flynn, who's the Associate Executive Director of Programs at the Road Home. Today we've been talking about winter homelessness. Thanks, Michelle.
Yeah.
I'm Alexis Cairo, and this is Comcast News Makers.